What's up, Tiger Nation? Kurt Stubbs here at Talkin Tigers with your Week 5 instant reaction. This week, it wasn't quite instant reaction. It's more like take a couple of days to sleep on it and then react. So our Week 5, take a couple of days to sleep on it, then react show. As always, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click the bell for notifications. Give us a big thumbs up if you like the content. I don't know how much you're going to like the content after our Week 5 preview and just how wrong I was in assessing our matchup last Friday night. But we do say that it's below average analysis, so we're not lying to you. But that one, I guess, would be lying to you because that was well below average in the failing range. But anyway, I hope that you do like the content and that you do subscribe. We love doing this. It's just a labor of love, just for fun. Obviously I do the Drive to Dayton with TJ Petros and Mike Roth. That's our main show, but definitely love doing this. High school football is a super huge passion of mine as well. Statewide, certainly Pickerington Central. So, again, if you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. Did I mention that? All right, so let's dive into Friday night and why was I so wrong? So I think we got to start with Week 4. We play a huge rival game, and we lose 39-34 in a game that, if you're a fan of both sides, I would assume that you would say that we could have very easily come out on the winning side of that game against our rival North across town. So starting there, I don't know if that game had any effect on how we played Friday. I mean, it's hard to believe with a team that beat us last year, a team that was in the state semifinals, and a team that is currently was 4-0 heading into the game, that you come out flat or disinterested. So I don't know if that's the reason. But what I do know is when I was making my predictions, I was basing it off how we played against North. What I didn't take into account was I saw the film on Mason and Gahanna, and whatever the secret sauce is that Mason has with Gahanna, I need to get that recipe. Maybe that recipe is scheduling them Week 1, because this is a program and a team that consistently gets better as the year goes on. Just looking at the last 2 years for sure. From Week 1 to Week 5, Week 5 to Week 10, Week 10 to Week 13. Huge jumps, and that credit goes to the players, and that credit goes to the coaching staff over there at Gahanna. So I think the thing that I did not take into account was the jump that they would make from Week 1 to Week 5, but also the gap up front, the offensive and defensive line, the clear advantage they had up front on both sides of the ball. Another thing that is really hard to gauge, and that I should have kind of known by 2 times we played them last year, was you can't gauge just how fast team speed is on film. Their team speed, and this is very rare to say, very rarely do we look like the slower team on the field. Friday night, Gahanna's team speed overwhelmed us. And I don't think that's an understatement. So the offense and defensive line advantage that Gahanna, they were not to say that we're bad. They're just really good up front. And credit, Coach Donovan White over there, that is in command of that line play. I want to make sure that you understand that I'm not saying that our offensive line is not good, our defensive line is not good. When you compare them to 99% of the other high school teams in Ohio, they are really good. It just so happened that we ran into a team Friday night that is really, really good on the offense and defensive line, and their team speed is really, really good. So I think those are part of the reason I was so wrong. How often does a Pick Central defense not get off the field the entire night? I would have to go back, but I'm pretty sure of the 6 offensive possessions, I want to say it's 6, that Gahanna had, they resulted in touchdowns. The other touchdown was an interception by Cam Frazier. He ran back for a touchdown. So that was your 49 points. But I think they were, their first team, in my memory serves me correct, was 6 for 6 with the drives they had, all resulting in touchdowns. I can't even recall. I mean, I'm sure there probably was one, but I don't remember Gahanna being even in a third down situation. If it was third and short. I do remember one play that we got them at or behind the line of scrimmage. Other than that, I mean, it was pretty much 5 yards or more every play. So another thing, the experience defensively that we lack, and this is week 5, and we've played 3 really good teams prior to that, so I was not taking that into account. I just figured, we would be ready, but, offensively, their wide receivers, when they got in space, made it really hard for us to bring them down. They turned in, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10-yard passes and turned them into touchdowns or long plays. Dior Hubbard, he really gave us problems last year in the run game, but he had some fumbling issues last year. Friday night, no fumbling issues. It was clear right from that first drive that he was on another level. And he proved that throughout the game. Their quarterback, junior Brennan Ward, playing him last year as a sophomore, I knew he was good. He proved to me even more this year. His accuracy is unreal. I think he's completing 73% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. He's really, really good. And he's got guys that he can get the ball to that make plays. You have a stud in the backfield like Hubbard. West Virginia, you need to hang on to Neil Brown because you need Dior Hubbard in uniform down in Morgantown. He is a stud. So those guys, gave us problems all night. Offensive line gave them good protection. It's just really hard to cover and account for that many talented players on the offensive side of the ball. I thought, I don't know if this would have made a huge difference, but they come down, I think maybe 2 plays. We missed a tackle on Hubbard, and he broke it, and it was 7-0, similar to last week against North. But we come out and put a really nice drive together. I mean, we look, just like we did against North. We're putting a real nice drive together, and then it halted, and we got stopped in the backfield on 4th down, and then from that point, it was just it was an avalanche from that point on. I don't know how much more there is to say about this game. When you look at the schedule, our first, so Olentangy Liberty, 1-4, but I, in my opinion, much better than that record. Their schedule is brutal. But if you look at the teams week 2 through 5, those teams are 18-2. And one of those 2 losses was Wayne's loss to us in week 2. So it's not like we're out there losing to teams that are not good. I mean, Gahanna and Pick North are 2 of the 5 best teams in Ohio. I don't care who you're going to bring up. Those are 2 of the 5 best teams. Fact. So 18-2, those teams weeks 2 through 5. That's incredible. That's an incredible schedule. When you look at playing your biggest rival last week, Pickerington North, you lose a game that definitely could have won. Again, shout out, kudos, whatever you want to say to North for getting the job done. North comes back and they get Reynoldsburg, and that's not their fault. That's just how the OCC crossover is scheduled. And they were able to take care of business. I think Reynoldsburg is 0-5, if I'm not mistaken. But that's who was on their schedule, and they took care of them. But you come back, and if you look at us, you play a team that was in the state semifinals this year and has ambitions of getting there and getting further this year. So that is a tough back-to-back, especially coming off of you got Wayne in week 2, then you go to Centerville, tough place to play, really good defense, dynamic offense, go to North, and then go to Gahanna. So this schedule is so front-loaded because you look at the back half and you've got Newark, you've got Central Crossing, you got Lancaster, you got Groveport, and you got Reynoldsburg. Nothing against those teams, but we are going to be a heavy favorite in all of those games. So it's a double-edged sword because you got time to figure things out over the next 5 weeks with a good chance of ending up 7-3 and a good chance of possibly getting in that top 8. 16 make the playoffs, but top 8 get you a home game. So we have a good chance winning these next 5 games to get to 7-3. But the other side of the sword is you come into the playoffs potentially, like we were last year, potentially not being challenged for 5 weeks and maybe thinking certain areas are much more improved than they actually are. I don't know if that'll be the case this year. I still hold out hope for this offense. I think it still can be really good. To not judge things based on Friday night. Like I said, that O-line and D-line and defensive speed, offensive speed, all over the field was on another level of anybody else that we're going to play in the regular season. So getting to 7-3 would be huge, but like I said, hopefully it doesn't highlight areas that maybe we aren't as improved as what we think at the end of the season just because we're able to do some things that against those teams that maybe we can't do against the upper echelon teams. So all that being said, if you ask me, sure, I'm a Pick Central guy. I think if you ask most people that know the sport, outside of the Gahanna and North, I'm not sure that listen, take off your hat, take off your t-shirt, take off your, school-colored towel. I'm not sure that we wouldn't be favored against every other team in the region outside of North and Gahanna. So think about that as we move into the final 5 weeks of the regular season. I think there's still a lot to be earned out there. I hope, guys can get healthy. I know Aaron Heller, one of the heart and souls of this team, got banged up. I think he's going to be good to go. We definitely need him. He's a leader of this team. He's a key contributor. But there's still a lot out there to be captured. A league title, of course, first and foremost. I think this team can win some playoff games. Right setup, maybe get a rematch with North, maybe end up on the winning side this time, could get back to the regional final. The only team right now that I think at this point in time, if all things equal stay the same, which we know they won't, injuries happen, teams get better, teams get worse. Gahanna right now is probably a team that we can't beat right now. We can't beat those guys. At the end of the season, I mean, we'll see. But this season is not lost. OCC championship's still out there. Playoff wins are still out there. Chance to get back to the regional final still out there. I hope this team, I hope this coaching staff sticks together. I know losing is not easy, especially at a place where you're used to winning all the time. But as I said last week, this is why you schedule those games. Find out where you are. Where's your weaknesses? Where are you strong? Now we can put it into practice here in the next 5 weeks and get ourselves right as we head into week 11, where the purple and white has been pretty successful in the past. So let's see what is going to be in store for the rest of this year. I'm not giving up on this team. I will say it again. There is still a ton out there to be had. So let's go get it.